Thank you very much, everyone, for coming here today to support the Hispanic Chamber as well as myself. Again, my name is Marcella Silva, and I help people invest in land because they're not making any more of it. I believe my life experiences will help change other people's lives for the better. I believe you can build your business if you learn how to network properly. I believe today's dirt is tomorrow's gold. Dirt is gold with networking in between. Sounds like a really bad tasting sandwich. But when made with the right care, love, and ingredients, it has come to be the most delicious sandwich I've ever had in my life. It has become my life, as a matter of fact. So what the heck am I talking about? Well, let me start from the very beginning. I was born and raised in a little tiny town, literally population 300, in the northern mountains of northern New Mexico. Beautiful place. I literally ran around like a wild animal when I was a kid. Very blessed. And luckily I had a very smart mom with a high IQ, and she pushed me through school. Got really good grades in school. Ended up getting recruited to work at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory as a software engineer. That's how I ended up in this beautiful state of California. I remember in the 80s watching the Loma Prieta earthquake on the news, thinking to myself, who in their right mind would live somewhere where there's earthquakes? Best decision I ever made. I absolutely love California, and the Bay Area is a magical place. So while I was working there at the lab went through a major transition. They used to be run by the University of California. Then they got switched over to a large private conglomerate, which I do not agree with. That's another story. Ended up adding multiple layers of management to it. At the same time, started laying off a bunch of people. It was really bad for morale. So I remember waking up every single day thinking to myself, I'm off to jail again. You know, society tries to paint this really beautiful picture, this beautiful box for you, go to school, get a great job, live a happy life. Well, for me, job stands for J-O-B, just over broke. So in 2007, when this transition happened, I ended up with an old 401k. They completely changed all the benefits. And I had to decide, do I take my old 401k and put it into the new retirement program that they were putting together? Or do I do something else with it? And I remember looking at my 401k statement at the time, thinking to myself, the only way this goes up is when I put money into it. This is ridiculous. I'm never going to be able to retire at this rate. To me, it was a glorified expensive savings account that could literally any minute just poof, up in smoke. So I started looking for other ways to invest my money. I decided I wanted something that would provide safety and security. I wanted to own something physical. And what is there physical out there? Real estate. It's created wealth for people throughout history. So I went and got my real estate license. Not that I planned on selling real estate. I'm just kind of a nerd like that. I like to get educated about things. Started going to seminars, reading books, all about real estate investing. And along the way, I decided, you know, I really don't want to be a landlord. I just didn't want to deal with tenants, toilets, and termites. Not that it's bad, not that it's wrong. It just wasn't for me. I didn't have the time, patience, or resources to do it. So along the way, I happened to meet this lady who started telling me about land banking. I was like, land banking, what the heck is that? I'd never heard of that before. But it had to do with land, and I actually grew up watching my parents invest in land. And they did very well with it. It actually helped put me through college, and they're retired now because of the land investments that they had purchased. All in New Mexico, though, so completely different. And I wasn't thinking about land. So I went and learned about land banking, and I was trusting my gut. I had this gut feeling that this was the right opportunity for me. So I actually took my old 401k, rolled it into something that's called a self-directed IRA, and used that to purchase my very first property. And I did this in March of 2008, right as the economy was starting to tank. Thank goodness, divine intervention came into my life and told me to pull my money out of the stock market before I lost a bunch of it, like so many of my coworkers and friends. I remember my manager telling me, I'm gonna have to work another 10, 15 years just to recoup what I lost. I didn't want that to be myself. Luckily, I was looking ahead at the time. So I bought my first property. 2008. A lot of people think you must have done poorly with that. Within the first year of me buying my land, the value of it almost tripled. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, there really is something to this. Thank goodness I followed my gut. I fell in love with the investment, learned more about the company, and decided to hang my real estate license with them. Yay, now I'm in business. Boo, I don't know anybody. The only people I know are my coworkers, and the only way they talk to me is via instant message. They're all a bunch of computer nerds. Now all of a sudden I gotta go out and find business. I gotta go out and network. For someone who is an introvert, computer nerd, I was freaked out, just like you were talking about, Mike, right? I don't wanna go networking. I have to go sell myself. I gotta be an icky car salesperson. That's what I was painting the sales picture in my head. I was freaked out. So I pull up Google, networking. Start going to networking events. I remember being freaked out, having to walk in there. I gotta talk to complete strangers, and I have to sell myself. I was stressed out. I didn't know what I was gonna say. I didn't know how I was gonna talk to people or what I was going to do. Luckily, divine intervention came into my life again. I ended up getting referred to this gentleman over here, Mr. Rick Silva. Join his networking group, someone said. They're awesome. Well, right as the time as I went to go join his networking group, he actually was launching his very first program, which teaches people how to network and get referrals. I was hungry for this information. Like I said, I'm a nerd. I want more information. Help me do this because I don't know how to do this. They don't teach you this stuff in school. You don't go to networking groups and just all of a sudden know how to network. So customer number 0001, he tells this all the time in his presentations. That was me. I wasn't dating him or anything. I just wanted to know. And what I learned was I was going about networking in the selfish way. Networking is all about being selfless. I'm not supposed to go in there and barf all over everyone about what I'm doing and try to make them buy land. It doesn't work that way. You'll never work that way. So when people tell me networking doesn't work, I went to this networking group for a year. I never got anything out of it. Boom, that's your problem right there. It's not what you get, it's what you give that helps you build your business, that helps perpetuate networking and commerce amongst each other and self-employed people. That's what it's all about. Going in there, learning about other people, and seeing how you can help them. And when I say help them, I don't mean help them by giving them your services. I mean help them by helping them grow their business. Learn about them, what they care about, what kind of help they need, who do they need to be connected to. And when you do that, that's just a law of reciprocity. That's just the way the universe works. You give without thought of return, you get. It just happens that way. It might not come from them. It's not an eye for an eye. Just keep on giving. And somewhere along the way, it comes right back to you in many different ways. Networking has turned into so much for me. I have made amazing friendships. I have learned about businesses I would have never known, been able to protect myself and my family and my home, have created health for myself. I lost 45 pounds and have kept it off. I've strengthened my body, all through people I've met through networking. My husband, he cured diabetes without ever taking a single medicine. Type 2. Because of networking. It's amazing the people and the things that you learn through networking, but it's all about doing it correctly. So the more you start giving to people, you go and meet somebody, what do you do? And they start telling me. And then they say, well, what do you do? Don't worry about it. I want to hear more about what you do and who you want to be connected to. And then I start connecting them. I might meet Javier at a networking group, And then another lady who does mortgages, come over here, I want you to meet Javier. You guys would be great power partners together. You start doing that enough, you know what? People are begging to know what you do. You don't have to force it on anybody. They want to know. Well, let's go have coffee. Let's see how else I can help you. And eventually they're going to ask you, well, what do you do? Land banking, what the heck is that? Let me paint the picture for you. How many of you have lived in the Bay Area for 15 plus years? You've seen it happen before your very eyes. Imagine what the Bay Area used to look like and what it looks like today. Do you see a single piece of dirt available that can actually be developed? That's the key, that can actually be developed. There's none, it's gone. It's millions of dollars per acre here in the Bay Area. 20, 25 years ago, you could have bought land in Dublin for $500 per acre, and today it's worth over $2 million per acre because they're not making any more of it. And then I say, you know, if you have any friends, family members, clients that might say something like, I have this old 401k and the only way it goes up is when I put money into it, or I need to do a 1031 exchange, or I'm never going to be able to save enough money to retire on. Those would be excellent referrals for me. And you know what the funny part is when you start telling people that? They say, well, you know what? That's me. I might need your services. But I'm not going there to try to sell them. I just want to possibly help their investors or their customers. And I also pay really good referral fees doing it too. So I start doing that more and more, introducing people to each other, helping people grow their networks, and it just starts coming back to me. It's all about working smarter, not harder, right? Business comes to me, my business starts thriving, all I do is go and meet people and help them. It's amazing how the world of networking can work for you. So as my business kept growing, of course I put my money where my mouth is. I keep buying more land. One of the properties my husband and I purchased, what's that, December of 2014. We bought it for $92,000. I've never even seen this dirt. That's why I like dirt. Never calls me on the phone, doesn't cause me any stress. It's just sitting there without me having to do anything. Developer contacts me out of the blue one day. Says, hey, we want your land. Okay, that's cool. By the way, that's a pretty powerful position to be in. When you own something that they can't just go to Costco and buy off the shelf, there's only so much of it available, very powerful position to be in if they need it. They sent us an offer. We want to buy it from you for $365,000. That's cool. That sounds good. Not good enough. The company that I work for actually helps me negotiate with the developers so I can get the highest and best price for my property. So I have my husband call him. They always want to talk to the man. So have them call him. 10 minutes later, we're like, yeah, that's great, but we're not interested. Month later, they come back, $500,000. That's what we'll pay you for your land. That's good, but not good enough. Thank you, but no thank you. 5-minute phone call. My husband will tell you, he was driving up 680 from Bollinger to, I think, Crow Canyon. El Costa. Next offer, $600,000. That's $500,000 on a piece of dirt I've done nothing with but pay about $1,000 in property taxes on. That was the kind of safety and security and investment that I was personally looking for. I was lucky enough to find that because I decided to step outside of the box that society has created for us, right? That's supposedly supposed to get us to where we want to be, but it's not going to. 401ks are not the end-all be-all. It's all about diversification. Diversification in so many different ways. So it's been truly an amazing journey. As I see California grow, businesses grow, population grow, underneath all of it is the dirt. Land is the true basis of all wealth in America. And right now it's even more exciting, especially since today is the National Climate Change Day. Land is very affected by climate change here in California. Right now, the largest land rush in California's history is happening because we're trying to beat climate change here in California. And I'm able to position investors in an alternative investment that is now being used to power California by green energy. Again, the largest land rush in California's history is happening, and nobody knows it's going on. And our investors are able to take advantage of that. So it's truly been an amazing journey, and I'm so passionate about helping other business owners learn how to network, connect with them, learn about them, help them connect with other people so that they can grow their business. And along the way, you know what? Maybe my business will grow a little bit too. And either way, it doesn't matter because I know I'm helping the community for the better. And that's really what it's all about, right? Being a selfless person. So thank you guys again so much for joining us here today. The Hispanic Chamber has been an amazing organization to be a part of. Just like Richard was saying, you know, it's not just about networking. It's about so much more. It's about community and helping in any way that we can. So any of the services that you guys have out there, please let us know. We'd love to help you guys and help the community grow in whatever way that we can. Thank you.